MMC TV USA, now on POTV, Channel 100.
Welcome to the Readers Cafe at MMC TV. Tasidele Namaste, Guru Rinpoche.
Tasidele, thank you very much for having me, Readers Cafe.
Thank you so much for joining our MMC TV Readers Cafe. I was searching for a book to read for myself and for others, and you suggested me this wonderful book, Beyond Religion, Ethics for a Whole World.
Yeah, that book is really interesting, yeah. So, did you go through it?
Yeah, I went a few chapters, around half of the book, and it's just like living with this wonderful personality, the great Holiness Dalai Lama. Yes. It's very, very empirical, very, very practical example he provides to live a happy and a very meaningful life.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, even like this book is really popular in the Tibetan community, even like it's really popular in the world. Many people like to read the book because His Holiness, this book is based on his daily lives, practice, and also this book is, you can see the title, you know, Ethics for a Whole World. You know, it doesn't matter people who follow religion or people who don't follow religion. Everybody can practice this book. Everybody can read this book, yeah. So this book is related to the ordinary people's life. You know, how can we have meaningful life? How can we have really, you know, like enjoy or peaceful life, yeah. So this book is really interesting, and also in this book you can see His Holiness is talking about compassion and loving kindness and how people are dependent each other, you know, to survive, you know. So this book is really interesting, yeah. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, yeah. He talked about a lot about the pursuing happiness.
Yes, yes.
Because it's a very common goal for every human beings. No
yeah,
matter
that's true.
What religion, with color or gender you are,
yes,
we all are seeking happiness and avoiding unhappiness.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you know, His Holiness always talking about the whole, how to say, like happiness or compassion or bodhicitta, you know. When you talk about all those kind of happiness, compassion, bodhicitta, it doesn't mean just knowledge. It's not just his knowledge, you know. It's not like us, you know. We go to the university and study, you know, get, you know, knowledge from the teacher, then come back, you know, to the society, you know, share your knowledge. It's not like that, because His Holiness is sharing all this, you know, from his daily lives, experience from his daily lives practice. Yeah. So, yeah, that's very interesting and it's very inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about this wealth, health, and relationships.
Yes, that's true.
So
yes.
Since we are in a very democratic, and also means a very consumeristic, we are over-consuming a lot of stuff to make us happiness. So he talks a lot about, you know, we have a lot of tendency to desire to want more, to order a lot of stuff through online platform, and once we get them, we are not happy.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So since you are born in Tibet, one of the, you know, the remote area of the world, and you migrate to United States, and how do you see from this perspective, the wanting too much material stuff to become happy, and once they get, they are not happy?
Yeah, actually, you know, you just mentioned that, you know, of course, we need wealth and we need health. You know, wealth and health are
Basically,
related, you know, related to each other, you know. So actually, His Holiness, you know, is talking about the health is based on, of course, we have like physical health and mental health. The most, you know, physical health is dependent on the mental health, you know. So
yeah, we often forget
yeah,
about
so
mental
even
health.
like, you know, according to the Buddhist perspective, you know, everything, you know, even like we have lots of, you know, disease, you know, like physical pain or lots of disease, all those kind of disease, you know, the cause of all those disease are the, you know, mental, afflictive, you know, afflictive mental emotion. So that's why once we train our mind, you know, so we can have like automatically, you know, physical health. So that's why we say like, you know, mental can control the physical health, but physical cannot control the mental, you know. So that's why even like Vajrayana practitioner or Buddhist practitioner, you know, everybody, you know, like they practice, you know, based on the mental, how to train our mind. Yeah, so that's why through training our mind, then we can have really peaceful life, happy life, you know. It doesn't matter what happened outside. You know, even like you see the Shantideva's quote, it's very interesting. You know, Shantideva said, you know, if you really want to solve your problem, you cannot solve external problem. External problem is always there. You cannot change anything from outside.
But you change
you know,
inside.
You try to solve the external problem by covering the ladder to solve external problem.
I see.
But we cannot solve it. What we can do, we have to cover our, you know, like, you know, as, you know, as, okay, we have to cover like our feet. When we wear the shoes, yeah, as like
Easy to
cover
walk.
our feet, and then it's as like cover or kind of like all external rocks or whatever, yeah. So we can walk, yeah. So in order to you want to walk in the rocky place, you cannot cover all rocky place. You just cover your feet. Then it solve your problem to walk in the rocky place, yeah.
It's very
Same as that's why
practical.
we have to train our mind, you know. So once we have trained our mind, there's not any problems. Yeah, so
It's really astonishing, Guruji, because we are trying to build the best constitution in the world, the best economic system, best secure society, but still we feel a lot of insecure. Still we see a lot of gun violence. According to some statistics like WHO, that every 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 are clinically depressed and taking pills to be change their emotions. It's really astonishing. It's really, sometimes it's very haunting to see those kind of news, Guruji.
yeah, that's true. I just mentioned, you know, earlier we talked about it. So because like even His Holiness in this book, you can see it. His Holiness really emphasized non-violence, you know, non-violence. So peaceful world, you know. So that's why non-violence or peaceful world, whether we have peaceful world or not, it depends, you know, individual practice, you know. So each person who has responsibility to taking care of the society or to have peaceful world is based on their practice, you know, based on their training mind, or based on their reduced selfishness or self-grasping, you know, self-grasping, or you just mentioned that, you know, like desire or anger, you know. So once we, you know, like reduce all those kind of, you know, destructive emotion within, you know, our mind stream, then we're gonna have automatically peaceful world, and is automatically reduce violence in this world, you know. Even like people who have depression, you know, They think like, oh, I got depression, you know, this and that. They think like, you know, cause of depression is from the external things. Cause of the depression is from own, you know, like perspective, you know, how your mind is thinking, how your mind is judging this and that, you know. So that's why our mind is like, you know, always, you know, like we always judging other people. We really never judge ourselves. We always say complain, you know, this and that, you know. We never complain ourselves. We never look at ourselves, you know, how much anger I have, you know, how much, you know, like jealous I have, how much attachment I have. Okay, so my anger, you know, how, you know, my anger, you know, like affect other people, hurt other people, you know. They don't see the consequence of the anger, all those things. Once we see the consequence of anger, jealous, attachment, then we can, you know, start work with this, make commitment through day by day. As like people who addicted with drug, like alcohol, you know, it's very difficult to stop right away.
Yeah, it's
it
true.
takes time to stop.
Of course.
Yeah, it takes time to away from the addiction, you know. In order to, you know, away from addiction, they have to talk themselves. They have to see the, they have to see the result, consequence of the drugs. Consequence of the drugs is hurting themselves, damage their health. Yeah. Once you see the consequence of drugs, then you can make commitment. Oh, I really don't want to take drug. Maybe like, you know, I don't want to take drug every day. Maybe, okay, once a week. Then later, you know, you can, oh, twice a week. Same as when I practice my, you know, reduce my anger. First, I have to see my behavior, physical behavior, mental behavior, verbal behavior. If I see that, you know, kind of negative behavior, which hurt other people, then I can see the cause of that behavior. Then I see, oh, cause of that behavior is maybe like anger. Oh, that anger is really not good in my life. It destroys my health. It's really hurt other people. Oh, I talk myself, I really, you know, of course, I really, you know, like anger really is not good for me. I really want to work with the anger. Then you have to see your anger, how anger arises in your mind. Once you recognize anger arises in your mind, then you have talk with your anger. Then you go to in your room or isolated place, you know, you talk to yourself, oh, I don't want to anger, you know. Today I angry, it's really bad, you know, it's not good for me, it's not good for him.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow when arise anger, again, you remember, oh, yesterday I already made commitment, you know, so I don't want to arise again, you know. Through this commitment, then we can reduce our anger, all those things, you know, so then we don't have, you know, too much violence, you know, like, even like people don't have to suffer from the depression. Yeah, all those things.
Very true. He talks about this mindfulness in this book and how, you know, when we are not aware of our own mental conditions, we become so selfish.
Yes,
we become so angry person.
Yes, that's true.
We ruin our own health and also others' beautiful relationships because of unaware of what's happening inside us.
Yes, yes.
So I think this book is a great portal to understand our own inner health, inner mind.
Yeah, this book is really interesting. You know, you can see how is this.
He talked about Guruji. Sorry, he talked about the selfish, kind of selfishness.
In Buddhist, they use term the self-grasping. You know,
self-grasping.
Self-grasping is the root cause of the suffering. You know, like even like we have like lots of suffering from the anger, jealous, pride. But all those kind of, you know, root cause of the anger, or jealous is the self-grasping. According to the, you know, like Vajrayana, I don't know the Theravada whatever, but in Vajrayana's perspective, you know, like they have two types of self-grasping. Self-grasping person and self-grasping phenomena. Then I think so maybe like a Hinayana's perspective.
That's also true.
Yeah, like a Mahayana perspective.
It's very similar.
According to the Hinayana's perspective, according to the, you know, Abhidhamma Koshas, Abhidhamma coaches, they're talking about the samsara. They are talking about the 12 links. 12 links.
Yeah.
Also, they are talking about the cause of the suffering. Is the root cause of the suffering is the self-grasping person. Then according to Mahayana, or like we say like autonomous school, there are different schools. Is like pressing consequence schools. According to the Chandrakirtis, his perspective is the root cause of the suffering is the self-grasping of the phenomena.
Phenomena.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of attachment. Obviously, we have attachment to the material world, and at the same time, we are attachment to the self-image. So all this, you say, is
self-grasping person. But
person.
actually, self-grasping person is very, is kind of
Like identity.
subtle, like very profound, topic, but in order to, recognize self-grasping, we have to study. That's why, Tibetan monastery monks, spend a lot of time to study, So that's why we have to spend a lot of time to study, and then we can, understand what is the self-grasping, how self-grasping causes the suffering, So it's kind of like very hidden phenomena, yeah.
Yeah, it's very complex and
that's why His Holiness mentioned that, every problem is the cause of the
within
self-grasping,
I remember he talks about the attachment to the identification, because we have a lot of identification. We have a need to belongs to a particular group, a particular nationality. We say, I am white, I am black, I am so and so, I am Buddhist, I am Christian. And whenever someone something say bad about your group or your identification, we get angry.
Yes, that's true. Exactly. Yes.
Even Buddhists, he talks about Buddhists, how they get angry when they are too much attached to this identification of Buddhism.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
It's like an over-identification of their self, right?
Yes. Actually, too much self-identification. Maybe that is kind of like everything. This kind of self, defense, self-identification is like from the self-grasping, So it comes from the, self-grasping. I think so, yeah. It's self-grasping because actually self-grasping, like, that is like when you talk about the self-identification, that means like you are the kind of like, in the
center of
the center of, like particular group. You are the part of that is something that, part of you, part of, same as like, it's like something that belong to you. Yeah, so that's why every time, something that, belong us, something that, like possess us, we always support, same as like, our physical body, we don't want to hurt other people, our physical body, even like we don't want to, like people, talk negative about you, because like whether talk negative about you and not is something that is belong to you, something that is part of you. So that's why when our identification is something part of us, something that belong to us, So that's why this is kind of like is related to the, like according to the Western perspective, is related to the self-defense. Actually, we talk about self-grasping. Then if we really go like little bit like course, is like is related to the self-defense. We have lots of too much self-defense.
And we are defending which doesn't exist.
Yeah,
right?
that's why we have lots of self-defense. That's kind of self-defense. Cause the disagreement. Even like in the society, even like within the family, wife and husband, they have lots of disagreement. That's why they are fighting. Even like in the different society, they are fighting because they have disagreement. Yeah, that kind of disagreement comes from where? Self-defense. Self-defense comes from where? Self-cherish, then self-grasping.
Action. That's very true, Guru Rinpoche. I remember Dalai Lama talked about a scientific research. It's done in a very big university in the United States, that it says that if a person uses a lot of pronoun of I, mine, myself, they are more prone to get heart attack.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
So it looks how when we are
Too
too
much
much self-centered,
self-centered. Yeah.
and they have a lot of desire to be one control oneself and others, and how their BP get high.
Yes, yeah. All those kind of, like blood pressure, depression, all those kind of, like blood pressure, depression cause from, like self-grasping, self-centeredness. Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, it's really marvelous, how His Holiness Dalai Lama, compact his own experience, and also he brings a lot of research. He relies on a lot of scientific research.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And he mixed together, and how he brings how this work for everyone,
Yeah,
not only for religious but also for anyone.
Yeah, actually, when His Holiness Dalai Lama was young, yeah, he was really interested in science. But later, he came to India, exile in Tibetan government. Every year we have kind of like a conference with the science. Maybe you can see
I
YouTube.
saw in YouTube.
They're talking about the mind, because like scientists, they don't believe, about the mind. Mind is part of the brain. Because according to the Buddhist perspective, mind is the separate from the brain. So that's why we have conference with the scientists, and then so he is really, how to say, familiarized, kind of Western scientist perspective.
Yes, Guruji, this book is a wonderful portal to be a happy person, and also to be healthy and compassionate, well-connected.
Yes.
I think that's a very common need of every human being, right,
Yeah,
Guruji?
that's what we need, in this world, It's kind of really, how to say, like very urgent, people need this, but people, still
Don't know.
And people are attracted by the external things. They really don't see the mental quality. They search something, happiness from outside.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah, that's why if they read, His Holiness Dalai Lama's book, then they know where is the source of happiness. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is a way to go inside, to do empirical research inside our mind. I think we should continue this book.
Okay, sure. I really like it. I think so. If we do in the future, maybe we can go through the chapter. Actually, there are many chapters. We can go like chapter 1, chapter 2, maybe like, each session, we can do one chapter, discussion one chapter. So it will be beneficial for us and beneficial for people who listen. Yeah. So this book is, main point is this book is talking about compassion and loving kindness, like non-violence, So I think so it's really beneficial for us and for people who listen. Yeah, we can do it in the future when you have time.
Yes, Guruji, we should continue this wonderful book for our next meeting.
Okay, sure. That's good. That sounds good.
Yeah, tune with us at Readers Cafe MMC TV. We will meet again with our wonderful teacher, Guru Geshe Tenzing Rinpoche, in our next episode. Have a wonderful day.
To catch the full program and more, subscribe to MMC TV USA on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok